And good afternoon, everybody. It's lunch and learn time. I'm Roger Morgan. I'm the founder and CEO of Paw Tree, and really happy to be with you on this lunch and learn today. We got a great topic, and super happy to be here alongside Brooke Sloat, our Director of Product Development.
Hey,
And
everybody.
if you guys have had an opportunity to participate in these any of the past several weeks, you know that Brooke is an absolute wealth of information, and these lunch and learns are fabulous at helping pet parents all across the country feel more empowered to take care of our pets. I know I've learned something every single week that we've done this, and so we're happy to be back today. Today's topic, are you guys ready for this? You probably already know, and that's why you showed up, but this is a topic I hope you will share with everybody in your pet network, because this is one that addresses that affects all of us from time to time, and sometimes systemically. But that is the one thing that you can do to help your pet ditch that itch. Right? A lot of us think that itching is just a common thing for pets, and something we just have to kind of suffer through or watch our pets suffer through. And there are all kinds of reasons pets itch, and there are all kinds of solutions to help pets stop itching and help them feel better. And this is a wonderful topic that we're going to learn from Brooke today. So with that, Brooke, let's jump in, shall we?
Yes, we shall. That would be great.
All right. So if this is a common issue, and we get a lot of questions about what to do, from different pet parents with respect to itching. So let's start with just help us understand, why do pets itch?
It's a good question. So dogs and cats will lick or scratch themselves, and if done once in a while, it's not a problem, right? But if it's done excessively, something may actually be bothering your pet, and they're certainly uncomfortable. And there could be several reasons why pets itch. The most important thing to do is always to rule out any serious condition exists. So if something isn't obvious, like fleas, you'll want to consult your veterinarian to make sure there isn't a bacterial infection or a drug reaction or parasite or fungal disease going on.
Okay. So that makes sense. And I definitely think, from my perspective, I've got 2 dogs, and I think we've probably maybe not had them itch for all those reasons, but several of those reasons. So let's start with, so if you do talk to your vet, and if your vet determines that there's something more serious, or that there isn't something more serious going on, then what do you do?
Okay, so basically itching is just an irritation of the skin, and several things can be causing this. So first, you want to observe where your pet is itching, because where they itch is a very important piece of the puzzle. So for instance, if they're licking their paws and scratching their belly, this may be more of a contact allergy, where they're coming in contact with something like grass that's bothering them. So you may want to consider wiping their paws and belly with a pet wipe or wet paper towel each time they come in from outside, and see if that helps them in any way. You also want to take a good look at their body, just overall, give them an exam and see what areas are red or maybe wet, like their paws or armpits where they might have been licking. If hair is missing anywhere, if you see a red raw area, a lot of you would know that as a hot spot. These are all clues, and these are the things that you're looking for. So, okay, now that you've done that, let's just kind of narrow down what might be causing this itch. Pets may be allergic or sensitive or intolerant to multiple things. And the most common types of allergies for pets are food allergies, seasonal allergies, and flea allergies, but not in this order.
Oh, okay. So a little pop quiz for later. So food allergies, seasonal allergies, and flea allergies, but not in that order. But maybe we'll find the order. Okay. So how can we figure out what's going on? How do we figure that out?
Okay. So let's start with the most obvious, which are flea allergies.
Okay.
So it's the number one issue for allergies. It's estimated about 40% of pets, dogs and cats, have flea allergies. And that's a large number, right? So what are you going to see? Well, you may see some actual fleas jumping around on your pet, or you may see something known as flea dirt. Now, flea dirt are little specks, little dark specks, kind of look like pepper. And what flea dirt is actually is flea excrement. It is their poop. You see, Roger, I'm always going to get poop into my
one way or another.
One way or another.
Conversation, especially at lunchtime.
Especially at lunchtime. You'll see this flea dirt in and around their ears, their neck, their armpits, the groin area, and the base of their tail. If you don't see any fleas, but you see the specks, one way to double check is, to know that it's fleas, is to take some of the flea dirt and put it on like a tissue or just a piece of paper, and drop a little water on it. Fleas drink blood, right? They take a blood meal from your pet. So you will see blood appear when you add the water. So that's an interesting, if you want to do that. But what you really need to know is that the sensitivity your pet is having is to the flea saliva that's been injected into their skin when they were bitten that's causing the itching. So it's the saliva. And the saliva of just 1 or 2 fleas can make your pet miserably itchy and uncomfortable for many weeks, long after those fleas are gone.
So fleas, I definitely have had some flea issues with at least one of our dogs in the past. So that's interesting. I didn't know that 40% of all pets are considered to have fleas or flea allergies. So that's interesting to understand that is the number one. So I've already got the number one out of the 3 you said. I'm getting that. I'm tracking.
I'm not quizzing you, Roger. I'm quizzing them.
Well, I got to make sure I know the answers too. Okay, so let's keep going. So is there more to say on fleas?
Yeah. So once you determine that it's fleas, if they're the culprit, you need to get rid of them and get them out of your home and environment immediately. Otherwise, fleas are just going to jump back on your pets, and this could go on for a very long time. So first, you must treat your pet. So give them a bath and treat their skin. We would recommend with our Skin Support Plus to stop the itching, and the flea and tick spray to keep the fleas away, right? You want to treat the environment, meaning spray your yard and clean your home. And once you clean your home, you'll spray it with the flea and tick spray, okay? Again, to keep those fleas away and to kill anything that you weren't able to get. So you want to wash and spray your pet's bed, their blankets, their toys, vacuum carpets, upholstery, cushions, rugs, then mop the floors. Be sure to empty the vacuum and put it in the garbage immediately to get the fleas and eggs out of your home. Flea eggs can live in the environment for up to 11 months, and they can drop off your pet onto the carpet and then hatch. So this can be a really nasty problem if you don't get a handle on it. So, but once you clean, everything should be fine. And please understand, guys, fleas happen. So please, don't think, oh my goodness, a lot of times, if a child comes home from school and they have lice, you're thinking, oh, I have a dirty home, or whatever it is. You don't. Fleas happen, and you just have to get rid of them. So it's just part of life with having animals.
That's great advice, and also comfort to know that we don't have to feel ashamed about our pets having fleas.
No, we won't shame anybody.
Okay, good to know. Now, I have another a comment about that. But do you have? I don't know if you have a bottle of our flea and tick spray. If you do,
I just might.
Okay, so that's the flea and tick spray. So one of the things that I know in my personal experience that I have really appreciated about this product and what you just said, Brooke, is that spray is something you can literally just kind of spritz on the pet, but you can also spritz it on the blanket. That you mentioned, treat the environment, right? The fleas don't just live. They don't just they're not only focused on living on the pet. They'll live wherever they can live, and that might be on beds, on bowls, on blankets, on fabric. So that's one of
They just jump on your pet or you when they're hungry and they want some blood, basically.
Gotcha. So it's an important distinction that, sometimes we put there. There are two things that I love about this particular product, and then I'm going to let you keep going, Brooke. But I just wanted to comment because as a person who cares so deeply about my own pets and about the health and safety of my own family, the idea of putting harsh chemicals into our home or our environment, we're actually very careful about that in our house. And this is an all-natural product, so you can feel very good about. You don't have to. Our product doesn't come with a warning label. You have to, wash your hands and remove, children
and
from.
Wear gloves. That's always bothered me. Wear gloves. Don't touch anything, but put it on your pet. I don't like that at all. This is a really much better solution.
Okay, so wonderful. So that's fleas. So now we understand fleas it's a very big issue. We understand you got to treat the pet and the environment to the best of our ability, and I think that gives us probably a little bit more empowerment as a pet parent to know how to handle a flea situation, and also not to be embarrassed about it, like you just said. This is not something to be sheepish about.
No. And I mean, just, I'll admit it. I had five dogs who had fleas at the same time. It was a mess. Okay. But I just acted very quickly and it really was not a problem. I mean, I got it off, but I saw the fleas were on them and they were jumping on them, et cetera. So.
Okay. So that's flea allergies. It sounds like that's the big culprit, but let's move on now to seasonal allergies. What can you tell us about seasonal allergies?
So seasonal allergies are allergies to something in their environment. So it's either an inhalant, like something they breathe in, like pollen or dust, or something they come in contact with, so that they touch, right? Like grass or ragweed or trees. And about 10 to 15% of dogs and cats have seasonal allergies. So a lot less than fleas, but at 40%, but 10 to 15% of dogs and cats have actual seasonal allergies. So what are you going to see? You'll see excessive itching and scratching. They'll lick and chew their paws. They'll rub their faces against the carpet or furniture. They'll bite their fur, especially their tummy and groin and armpit areas. And they'll get these red raw spots or hot spots on their skin. Often the hair, is not on their skin, and in this area the hair goes away and they get this big red spot. So now you can test for seasonal allergies. Those tests are very accurate tests. And then once you find out what your pet is allergic to, you can give allergy shots. But allergy shots are expensive and they're painful for your pets, and they take years to complete the necessary rounds of shots. Personally, I have one dog, Maggie, and Maggie is allergic to 21 things. Okay. Seasonal, all stuff outside, etc. So I am doing the rounds of shots with her, but it's a couple of years now that I've been doing this, and I'm still probably have another year to go. In addition to this, your vet may want to give them either a steroid shot or a Cytopoint injection, which is not a steroid, to give them immediate relief. Just note that steroid shots are not good to give your pet over an extended period of time. Okay,
that makes sense. So that's seasonal allergies, which it sounds like is still 10 to 15% of pets have that issue. It's not minor. I mean, it's still relatively prevalent. What about, let's go on to, you mentioned 3, let's go on to the third, food allergies. Let's talk about food allergies.
Okay, so the question I have is food allergies more than 40% or between 15 and 40? Let's just see where food allergies lie. So if they have a food allergy, it may be to a particular ingredient that causes them an allergy or a hypersensitivity. Some of these ingredients might be to some sort of a protein or dairy or corn or wheat or soy. There's a number of things they can have an issue with. But true food allergies are much less common than pet parents believe. It's really estimated that around 1% of dogs and maybe 0.5% of cats are actually allergic to food. What you will see when they are allergic to food is generalized itching all over their bodies. Okay. And the bad or sad part about food allergies is it's very difficult to test for them because the tests are expensive. But what's more important is they are not very reliable. So, unlike the seasonal allergies, which are very reliable, food allergy issues are not. So, or tests are not. So, pets will get food allergies usually to something that they've already been exposed to or eaten before. So common things, like I mentioned, are dairy products, corn, wheat, and soy. And that's why oftentimes your vet may want to switch your pet's food to a more novel protein, like a duck or a bison, or give them either a steroid shot or the Cytopoint injection to give them, and the Cytopoint will give them relief for like 4 to 8 weeks. And as I said, it's not a steroid. Now, something that's interesting, and this has come up a lot, if a pet is allergic to chicken, a lot of people think their pets are allergic to chicken. And one of the reasons, I mean, I get this question all the time. And one of the reasons I think, that they may be thinking this is because chicken is in a lot of food, and especially puppy and kitten food. So they would have been exposed to that already. So that's why a novel protein, that's why a vet will say, hey, move to a bison or move to a duck or move to a salmon or something that's different, not as common. Okay. So if they're allergic to chicken, they're actually allergic to the protein. This is important, to the protein in chicken. So if you have a food that uses chicken fat, poultry has many varieties that have chicken fat because it's a very ideal source for pets for fat, right? But if the food uses chicken fat, your pet won't have a reaction because chicken fat is fat. It doesn't contain protein. Okay. So you have to, and a lot of people, or some people, have had concerns with that. And we have formulated some diets without the chicken fat, but truly, you don't have to worry about it. But I just didn't want people to get a lot of objections, So anyway, again, long-term use of steroids is not ideal, but it will give immediate relief and calms the pet down and stops the itching for a while. But the main thing in all cases, whether it's flea allergies or seasonal allergies or food allergies, is to stop that itch scratch cycle, because the more your pets itch, the likelier they'll be to break the skin and then cause an infection. And then you have a whole nother thing to deal with.
Makes perfect sense. It really does. What's interesting, what I think, my takeaway on the food allergy conversation is that it really is not as prevalent as we often think it is. And so that's probably something good to know, that these remedies of, oh my goodness, my dog's allergic to the food, often that really isn't the case. Maybe something else that we can address. And that's helpful. That's helpful for I think all of us to know. Okay, so we've talked about fleas, we've talked about seasonal allergies, we've talked about food allergies. This whole this lunch and learn was was about the one thing. That's right. What is the one thing that we can do as pet parents to stop all of this, to help all of this?
Okay, are you guys ready? If you had to pick one thing to help your pet, the one thing you should pick would be salmon oil. Salmon oil is absolutely amazing. It is extremely important. And in fact, we just learned that dietary deficiency of omega-3s is the #1 cause of excessively flaky skin in pets.
Oh, wow.
But salmon, is that crazy? But salmon oil helps with far more than just skin issues. So let me explain.
Okay.
Pets need omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Very important. These are what they term essential fatty acids, which means that they're critically important to your pet's overall health and vitality. Okay. And they provide essential nutrients for your pet's entire body to function, working from the cellular level from the inside out. But our pets can't make omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids on their own. They must get them from their diet. So pets get plenty of omega-6 fatty acids in their kibble diet, but they need more omega-3s. That's why they need to supplement. So you see, when dogs and cats age, they face an increased risk of heart problems and stiffening joints and loss of energy and stamina. And these health risks can be reduced by a diet supplemented with omega-3 fatty acids. And salmon oil is a magnificent source of omega-3 fatty acids. So from heart health to healthy skin and coat to joint health and maintaining a healthy immune system, omega-3s help with so many things.
Okay, so let's talk. You talk about salmon oil. Is that any salmon oil? I mean, I see there's salmon oil available. I actually take a fish oil supplement myself, every day, and so does my wife. And you see other, things on the market for humans and or for pets. So will any salmon oil work, or are some better than others?
Some are definitely more effective than others. You want to look for salmon oil that's made specifically for pets, for dogs and cats, and has a high ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s, because as I mentioned, pets get enough omega-6s from their food. So you're really focusing on those omega-3s. The preferred ratio for pets is 13:1, meaning 13 omega-3s to 1 omega-6. And
Okay.
just we'll keep going.
I'll just put your banner because I think that's really important, and sometimes it's hard. Maybe packages don't even communicate very clearly what the ratio is. Partly maybe because they don't have a very good ratio, so they just make the consumer do the math. But if you've got a salmon oil that really is strong in the ratio of 3s to 6s, it probably will say it right on the package what the ratio is. And yes. I do know that our Patry wild Alaskan salmon oil is in this 13:1 ratio. The higher the ratio, the better, right? And if you can find it on the package, that usually indicates that brand would be aware of that and be promoting it because they know that's important to the health of the pets.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
what? Okay, go. So sorry, keep going. I think you said you had something else you wanted to share.
Well, I wanted to talk about the two salmon oil options that we have. Okay. So we offer two. We offer a pure oil and a delicious soft chew. So our wild Alaskan salmon oil is pure oil. So that's this, pure oil. It comes from wild caught salmon. It has the preferred ratio of 13:1 omega-3s to omega-6s. It's a liquid oil. It's in a pump bottle. So all you do is you just pump this on your pet's food, just squirt it on their food, and they love the taste of it. Okay, so this is absolutely preferred. I refer to this as our gold standard because of the 13:1 ratio. Okay. But some pet parents don't like what they term salmon breath or the fishy aroma if the oil gets on their pet's beard, right? So we have an alternative form, which is our salmon oil drops. And that looks like this. Salmon oil drops. These are chews, okay? And the salmon oil, what's different is this salmon oil comes from salmon from Norway. And we used a cold pressed extraction process. And why we do this is because it eliminates much of the fish aroma that some pet parents don't like. So now the difference is that it has a 4:1 ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. So much less than that 13:1, but there's only so much oil you can put in the chews to form the chew, right? Yeah. So, and as I said, it comes in a delicious soft chew form. So pets will just eat it like a treat. So the wild Alaskan salmon oil is our most optimal form, okay, as I've mentioned before, because it's much richer in the omega-3 fatty acids, that 13:1 ratio, than the chews that have the 4:1 ratio. However, some omega-3s are better than no omega-3s. They really need this stuff, okay, to be as healthy as possible. And as I mentioned, salmon oil is very important for both dogs and cats. So both the wild Alaskan salmon oil and the salmon oil drops contain the important omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids that will hydrate and nourish your pet's skin from the inside out. It will increase the itch threshold for your pet, so it allow them to have more relief before the itchiness bothers them.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I mean, this one thing. So this is the one thing you're talking about. If you could do one thing to help with allergies, whether
Itch.
they're itching, itching, so that stopping the itch from fleas, from food, from seasonal, and sometimes we don't know exactly what it is, maybe. But this is the thing. These omega-3s that we get in the wild Alaskan salmon oil, or in these drops that you mentioned. That's the one thing. Is that right?
That is the one thing.
All right.
Now
So,
we have other things, but that is the one thing.
okay. So that is the one thing. So if there's one thing I should be supplementing Bella and JoJo with on a daily basis to help with any type of these itching issues, it's the salmon oil. Is there any? You mentioned there's other things. I know we're a little bit short on time, but at least that we all know the one thing. What are the other things that you'd say, okay, once you get the one thing in place, here's a few other things that you may want to be aware of?
Sure, absolutely. So Patri offers what we refer to as a multimodal approach to combat itching naturally. So instead of having to give steroid shots that can be dangerous over time, immunosuppressive drugs like cyclosporin, or antihistamines like Benadryl that will make them sleepy. Okay, so we also have our skin support spray. And what this is, it's a spray that contains a soothing blend of tea tree oil, aloe vera, and chamomile. And those three ingredients work synergistically to treat and ease the discomfort of environmental allergies, abrasions, and itchy or irritated skin. So you can either spray this on directly on your pet, okay, so you've got the sprayer, or you can put it on your hand, spray it on your hand, and rub it gently on their skin, because it'll alleviate the itch immediately. Now, the reason I say that is because this is not going to hurt them, or it doesn't contain alcohol. It's not, at all. It's just that the act of spraying might startle them, so that's why I say sometimes put it on your hand and rub it gently in.
Okay, wonderful. So that's the allergy. That's the Skin Support Plus.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have, next what we have is our allergy support. And these are our chews, Allergy Support Plus. And this is a comprehensive supplement with an effective mix of herbs that relieves the itch and calms the skin so your pet can be comfortable. This product has had amazing results. We usually say that you need to kind of, we'll say, when I speak with consumers, I usually say, look, start with the salmon oil. We want to use all these things, but get the salmon oil in them right away. That will have the most immediate effect, working from the inside out. The skin support will have an absolute immediate effect because you're just, spraying where they're itching, right? But anyway, so, but the allergy support can take up to 4 weeks for you to see a difference and for your pet to feel a difference, because it needs to build up in their system. But we've honestly been seeing average results in far less time. It really sometimes works very fast, but I just don't want to give false hope. You want to keep getting it into their system. And then, of course, you don't want to forget this. The last thing is their ears. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a product called, we have our ear wash and we have our ear dry, which come together as a product package. And these are a mix of chamomile, yucca, clove oil, and calendula. And these control the odor and itching and soothe raw, red, and greasy ears. So, and then of course, we already, talked about the salmon oil, the wild Alaskan, or the salmon oil drops. So we basically offer everything that will stop that itch scratch cycle for your pet.
This is empowering. I do think, in some way, shape, or form, all of us deal with itching with our pets, and, in that incessant kind of itching, scratching, and sometimes it's temporary, sometimes it's ongoing. And I think what we've learned today, that we appreciate your time, Brooke, over this lunch and learn, is that there are multiple reasons why a pet may itch. I think we've understood. I think I've got it clear in my head. Let me see if I'm right. That the first there's 3 reasons that a pet may itch. The more prevalent is fleas. The second most prevalent is seasonal allergies, and the last is a food allergy. But for any of those, the one thing that we can do that would really help the itch scratch cycle and help pets with itch relief is the wild Alaskan salmon oil. That would be, and getting those omega-3s into their system. They work on so many different levels. But then there,
so many things in their body. And the other thing to note is that with fleas, flea and tick season basically starts when you first have your first thaw, right? So we're most of the times usually around March. Now, there are some places in the country that never freeze, right? So you will have flea issues all year round. Yeah. But for many states, you would start your flea applications and things like that in March.
In March. Well, that's timely information, very powerful information, and we appreciate you, Brooke, taking the time. If you've learned something from this, share it with a friend. Let's help empower pet parents to be even better and more wonderful than we already are. Thanks again, Brooke, for the time for the Lunch and Learn, and we'll see you all again soon on the next one.
Bye.